2024 is right around the corner. We are about to go into a new year, and everyone's New Year's resolution is to become a better trader. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the 2 activities that I was able to do daily that actively gave me a growth in my progression as a profitable trader. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing I know you guys hear a lot, from me especially, is mechanical edge engineering. This was an activity that I was able to do every single day to not only figure out what concepts works best for me as a trader, but also figure out the percentages and the probabilities of each one of these concepts, and also learning how to think in a probabilistic mindset. So to break down what mechanical edge engineering is, it's simply where you write down a certain set of rules or criteria that you have in your setup. The goal here is to make your signal as simple as possible, because the more simple it is, the easier it is to execute over and over and over. So what you want to do is you want to grab a sheet of paper, and with this sheet of paper you want to write down these 4 things. First things first, you want to write down your trade criteria. Now when it comes to trade criteria, the simple definition for this is anything that defines a signal to you. What defines a signal for you? If you trade ICT 2022 model, here's a simple example. A trade criteria for you may be a rate on liquidity and then a market structure shift. That may be what you may call a trade idea. The next thing that you need to write down is your trade criteria. Now, when it comes to what trade criteria is, this is just simply saying what needs to happen in order for you to enter the trade after you see your signal in the market. So going back to the example of the 2022 model, your entry criteria may be a retracement to a PD array, or it may be a retracement to that PD array plus a rejection of the PD array. Whatever it is, make sure you have these things written out so you know exactly what you're looking for in the markets. The next thing you need to figure out is your risk management criteria. So what this means is how much are you going to risk per trade? You're going to figure out in advance if you are going to pick a standard risk amount, static, which just basically means you're going to risk the same percentage per trade, or you're going to pick a dynamic risk amount. When it comes to dynamic risk amount, it's basically based off of the setup, right? Or it could be based off where you are in your equity curve. You will risk a certain percentage. For example, if you're in drawdown in an equity curve, maybe you may lower your risk percentage to a certain amount. If you are in profits with your equity curve, you may even increase your risk to a certain amount. But it's having all this planned out in advance. If you're a beginning trader and you only have 3 years of experience in trading, I would recommend start off with the static approach for now, because it just allows you to really calm your mind, knowing exactly what you're going to risk over and over, making things simple. And when picking a risk amount, pick anywhere from 0.5 to 2%. Anything above 2% can be called high risk trading, which may not be in your best interest, and anything lower may result into profits that's not even worth your time. So pick anywhere from 0.5 to 2% as your risk amount per trade. After you figure that out, the 4th thing that you're going to try to understand is what is your trade management going to be. So during every trade, how are you managing it? Are you taking partials at certain levels? Are you moving your SL to trail? Are you just taking the set and forget approach? The goal is to have how you're going to manage your trades in each situation already mapped out. If you're beginning this process, I just suggest go with the set and forget approach, which is just simply placing a TP, placing an SL, and letting the trade and market take price to where it wants to go. Once you figured out these 4 things, go ahead and get yourself a historical replay tool. I recommend FX Replay, no affiliation. I just recommend FX Replay because you're able to get a ton of volume when coming to this exercise. Do not use TradingView because you're going to be biased and you're going to only find setups that you possibly would take because you think it's going to win. When it comes to FX Replay, it's really going to show you your true results. You can't pick and choose when it comes to FX Replay. That's why I recommend it. And then once you get FX Replay, go ahead and get some type of journal. The goal here is you need a journal that allows you to check the statistics after you've taken 20 trades following the 4 things you need to know about your strategy. I know a lot of online journals have the ability to do this. I would pick that unless you are really good with Excel sheets to the point where you're able to calculate the statistics of average win rate, average winner per trade, average loser per trade, I wouldn't recommend going an Excel sheet or Notion. I would recommend really take the time and invest in one of these trading journals. You can use TradeZilla, you can use Edgewonk, you can use any of those, no affiliation. But the reason why I recommend them is because they allow you to see the probabilistic data of each variable of your strategy. That's why I use Edgewonk. I don't know too much about TradeZilla, but I'll recommend any one of those. Anything that just allows you to see data after you've taken your sample size. So once you have everything needed to start this exercise, the next thing you're gonna do is you're going to take the trades, right? So what it's gonna kind of look like is you're going to play through FX Replay. And as soon as you see something that matches your trade criteria and your entry criteria, you are going to enter with the risk amount that you planned, and you're going to manage the trade the exact way you planned before. And you're gonna keep doing this over and over and over and over for anywhere from 20 to 50 trades. Now here's the thing, you're going to go on losing streaks, and that's part of the process. No trader ever wins every single trade, and no trader ever avoids a losing streak. That's part of the game. The goal is to make it to the end of the 20 trades. It's not to be profitable. It's not to win more trades than you lose. It's just to take 20 trades doing the exact same thing. Because here's the thing you don't know about consistency and consistent profits. All consistent profits is the right actions done consistently. That's all it takes to be consistently profitable in trading. So when it comes down to this exercise, you're not focused on the outcome, but you're focused on following your trading plan all the way through for 20 trades straight. Once you've done that, you should have data. Now, data should tell you what's your average winner, what's your average loser, what is your win rate, and are you profitable in the long term of series trades. And here's the thing, if you're not profitable, that's okay. Do the exact same exercise over, but just change one variable of the 4 things we talked about. For example, if you've noticed while taking your trades that it goes up halfway to your take profit, but then reverses, start to look to either set partials or moving your SL to break even a little bit earlier. And that's one variable that you can change. And then take 20 trades exactly the exact same way with a different variable change, and just see what your results are going to be at the end of the trades. And you go through this process over and over and over every single day until you found a strategy that satisfies you data-wise and profitability-wise. That's mechanical edge engineering explained in the simplest way I can possibly put it. Now, the pros of it is just one, you build the experience for your strategy, you build experience in the market, and then on top of that, you'll start to learn how to think in probabilities. You see, a lot of traders trade in a fear-based mindset because they're worried about what the outcome is going to be every single trade. By doing this exercise, you're going to start to learn and develop the habit of not caring about what the outcome is by every single trade basis, but learning what the outcome is going to be in a series of 20 trades. That's where your focus is going to shift to. And once that happens, you're going to notice a big shift in your trading success. So now on to the second thing that I've done every day for the past 3 months that has drastically, and I mean drastically, improved the trader I once was. And it's taking the time to study psychology. You see, in trading, traders have the misconception that in order to get better at trading, they'd have to learn more about technical analysis. And that's wrong. What you have to do is study trading psychology. And I'm not talking about the vague advice that is manage your emotions or start to journal. No, although those tips are helpful, really take the time to learn and understand how do professional traders think. And I can tell you right now, it's the 2 main things that you're mainly going to look for. This first things first, you're going to try to understand how to become more self-aware, because becoming more self-aware already solves half of the problem. Once you become more self-aware, you're able to pick up on the problems that are stopping you from becoming profitability. And then the second thing that you'll need to learn, and that you will learn from studying psychology from the best trading psychologists every day, is simply learning how to eliminate these problem patterns. Now, I can make a whole separate video on this, but I really want you to take the time to study psychology every day for at least 90 minutes. And it's going to get repetitive. You're going to start to hear the same thing over and over. And that's the point. Once you start hearing the same things over and over, those are the things that you need to implement into your trading, because that is the common factor, because that is saying that whatever that advice is the common factor from profitable trader to profitable trader that all profitable traders are most likely to have. And that is probably the thing that you need to either increase doing or start doing. So now I'm going to give you some trading psychologists I recommend you study. Number one, study Mark Douglas' work. It's pretty simple. The reason why you're going to study Mark Douglas' work is because he talks a lot about the beliefs that you need to have in order to be successful in the trading market. So take the time. He has a little bit of videos on YouTube. It shouldn't take you no longer than a week to go through some of his content on YouTube, but it will help you drastically. And then the second person I recommend is definitely Dr. Brett Steinbarger. He goes over how to eliminate these problem patterns, which is very helpful because once you kind of build self-awareness to these problem patterns, you're able to eliminate it. But don't just limit it to just those two. Study emotional control. Study other trading psychologists. Your goal while studying is to find the common piece of advice that they're giving, the common idea, the common perception of the markets that they all have. Your goal is to find these things and then take it from them and implement it within yourself. And if you're able to do these two things consistently for the next 3 months, I promise you, you will be unrecognizable. If you gain just a little bit of value from this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you can send it to a trader who needs to hear these things. And until next time, peace and love.